Boys and girls, it's now or never. I think I'm getting sacked this afternoon. I don't want to get sacked this afternoon, but I think I'm getting sacked this afternoon. I don't know how long this stream is going to be. We'll keep it going until I get sacked, and then we'll come up with a new plan. New series starts on Monday. Oh dear. How are we all? Are we all good? Did you all enjoy watching me ask other people to press continue for 5 hours on the network game last night? Chris is having a lovely day trying to make that into a coherent video. But we are back with the Leamington save today, and I'm not going to get sacked. I've decided today we win the playoffs. It's going to be a wonderful thing. But first, a YouTube intro, which means we have to kill the music. Well, I think it's now or never, folks. If they're going to sack me in this save, it is going to be today. We've got 6 games left of the regular season. There's not a chance we're going to win the league, even though the board have insisted we have to. They might sack me the moment it's no longer mathematically possible for us to go up automatically. Or they might just do a surprise one before the playoffs. The one silver lining on all of this is with the pressure really, really piled on, it is number 13, the 13th consecutive set of playoffs in a row, if we get to them. Surely it's 13th time lucky, yeah? There we go, boys and girls. Excellent. Just one take Chapman. That's what they call me. We're not stressed. You're stressed. I need a window open. It's hot in here. It's cold outside. It was snowing this morning. Can you believe it? Snowing. Snowing. Thank you for the subs, by the way. Chris is in for 19 months. Tyler's in for 13 months. Thank you to both of you. If you haven't been in the streams or keeping up to date with these videos on LOLLUJO 2, which you should be, we're pretty much up to date on LOLLUJO 2 now. It's a wonderful thing. Help feed Chris's kids. That's what LOLLUJO 2 is all about. God, that's freezing. Shut that again. Oh, my word. Woo. Oh, it's freezing. But this is the situation. We are still in the National League. We need the music back on. Cheer myself up with some music. We are still in the National League. We've been professional now for nearly 2 years, and the board have decided enough is enough. I'm over the wage budget. We've got to get into the Football League. As you can see, we've got 6 games left of the regular season. We are 17 points behind Port Vale, who have a game in hand. We're 4 points behind Ebbsfleet, who have 2 games in hand. The worry we've got right now is Woking and Barrow and Grimsby and these teams behind us, because if we go into the playoffs in 2nd or 3rd place, there's a pretty good chance we end up at Wembley. If we have to start from 4th to 7th, then there's away games and extra matches, and even getting to Wembley becomes a challenge. So we've got to win our next 6 games to try and get up through the playoffs. And also, while all that's going on, we're still in the Fat Cup as well. There's a potential 2 trips to Wembley today. It's the quarterfinal of the Fat Cup up first against Borehamwood, who are down in 21st place. So you would think that's a game we should be capable of winning. But like I say, there is a part of me that's a little bit worried that the board will just sack me the moment Port Vale's promotion is guaranteed. I hope that's not the case. Archduke Mellon, thank you for the sub. In for 20 months. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Oh, we're on a hype train as well, are we? Well, I never did. First time I've caught a stream in a while. Well, welcome along. We have fun. We have fun. We have fun around these parts. Even if I get sacked today, we have fun. It's going to be lovely. Have you literally just said it's snowing? It's bound to be cold if you open a window. Yeah, but it's so hot in this room. The radiator's never been on in here, but I've got the computer and the lamps and all the other lighting and stuff in here. So it's always really hot in here. I always either have the window open or the fan on. I guess I could put the fan on because it's a little bit warm. I usually prefer the window because fans are expensive to run all day. ABSVDism, thank you very much for the sub. Sorry for completely butchering your name. If I get sacked, is the save over? Probably, purely because I think it's a tough sell at this stage of a save. 8 years in, it's a tough sell starting again from scratch in non-league, I think. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. We'll figure it out. I'm not really sure. It depends on the circumstances of the sacking. It depends on whether or not I want to carry on, I guess. There's no hard or fast rule of it. We're playing this save by ear. We don't really have a plan for a next save. So one thing I can tell you is if we get sacked this afternoon, there won't be a new save this afternoon. We'll probably just keep going and get an idea of if I get another job and at what kind of level. Because you never know. The reputation I've built up, I'm still getting linked with championship jobs when they become available. So there is a ridiculous scenario, which might be too ridiculous to continue to save. There is a ridiculous scenario where Leamington sack me, but I end up at a League One club or something. Which is, I mean, that would be a bit nuts, but it could potentially happen. Dorsey Boy, thank you very much for 6 months. Kiva, thank you for 7 months as well. Attempt to Peter if they get relegated again. Yeah, I mean, that might actually be the most fun potential outcome. Because obviously on Earth 1, we left Leamington to go to Peterborough when Peterborough were in the Championship and took them to the Premier League. Here on Earth 2, we didn't go to Peterborough. They then got relegated and they're now in the relegation zone again in League 1. So again, there's a scenario where I get sacked at the end of the season, Posh are in League 2, and we go there with some of the same players still knocking around that we had on Earth 1 and see if we can repeat the heroics. It'd be a much tougher job getting them to the Premier League from League 2 than it was from the Championship. So I guess we'll see, I guess. But first, it's the Fat Cup. So let's get our priorities right. Let's focus in on the Fat Cup. I mean, we've got such a small squad, haven't we? Whose idea was this? And we're way over the wage budget as well. That's the crazy thing. Imagine how... I mean, things are going to be pretty... If we do go up, things are going to be pretty desperate. Because I can't imagine we're going to get much more money. We still don't have our own ground. I don't think Butts Park is suitable for the Football League. So we're going to have to move grounds again. I don't know where we'll end up. We'll have to move grounds again. Still not own our own place. So attendances probably won't go up very much at all. If anything, if we move further away from Leamington and Coventry. Perhaps we'll go to the Rico. That might be fun. Go to Schalke, see if you can reverse the previous visit. I mean, we might do the whole save just slower. This is the slower pace version. We don't move on until we get sacked. So I'll get sacked from Leamington, go to Peterborough, still get him to the Premier League. It'll just take longer, but then get sacked when I get relegated. And then Schalke are like, well, he's got Premier League experience. Schalke by now are in the 2nd division in Germany, and we end up there. And then we'll go and take on League One Norwich at some point. It'll work out beautifully. Daniel, thank you for 8 months. But I think priority for me is just to try not to get sacked today. Hence the name of the stream. That'd be nice. Let's avoid getting sacked. In other news, I've finally taken a plunge and sorted a storage unit. So with my new desk coming early next week, it's going to be clear out central around here. I've got a 5 foot by 7 foot storage unit. So I'm going to be able to put this old desk. This is going in the storage unit because I want to save this when we get the new house. So I'll have a bigger office there and I'll be able to have 2 desks. I really want a 2-desk setup where I have this desk as my recording desk and then the sit-stand desk as an editing desk. That's the long-term dream. So I'm keeping this desk, but it's going into storage. My green screen's going into storage because it gets in the way. And then I'm hoping that the walking treadmill I've got will fit where I store the green screen at the moment. And that way, next week I'll be streaming, walking along. It does mean that streams might be a bit disrupted next week because I don't know when the desk is coming, but as soon as the new desk arrives, it's kind of action stations disassembling the office and then shipping a load of stuff over to the storage unit. But as part of the storage unit thing, they let me borrow their van for 1 day as part of the thing. So I need to carefully select what my day is. But I can't really have a desk sat out in the hallway for 3 days. So at fairly short notice, when the new desk arrives, I'll drop everything for a day or two and rearrange everything. When am I looking to move? Do I have a new house in place? No, we don't. I mean, there's a house we want. There's a new build estate down the road from where we live now, where it has the perfect house for us. But at the moment, until I submit my accounts again in April, I don't have enough accounts to be able to get the mortgage to be able to get it. So we can't make an offer until April. So whether or not we end up getting that house is a bit up in the air because it's had a price increase twice since we've had our eye on it. And it's now right at the top end of what I'm comfortable paying. And if it has another price increase before April, then we might back out of that plan and come up with a new plan. Equally, it might be gone by April. I mean, it's a new build. If they've got justification for keep increasing the price, that's just demand's quite high. So, I don't know. We'll see. If we get that one, it'll be late summer, early autumn that we're moving. The lease on this house ends in October. We might end up staying here for 2 years. Who knows? It's kind of why we need the storage unit, because we don't have a garage in our current house, so we don't have anywhere to put stuff. We've still got the cupboard under the stairs is still full of moving boxes from stuff that was out of the old garage. Loads of comic books and pop vinyls and camera gear that I've just never unpacked because I've got nowhere to put it. Godrum scored. But if I have a storage unit, I can get at some of that stuff a little bit easier. And also the house will be less cluttered for when we do move. Am I going to vlog doing the desk setup? Probably not. Because it'd be such a boring video. I don't really know where I am with the vlog channel. There's a scenario where I never create another video for it. I don't really know what I'm doing with it. I don't know if I want to do anything with it. Who knows? What I do know is I don't want to make a video until I'm inspired to make a video. But even then, it needs to be more than one video. I want to come back with a schedule, whether it's weekly or whatever it is. And it's not going to be vlogs because I'm vlogged out. Vlogs are boring. I don't want to do vlogs. I feel like I've done every vlog that it was possible to make. So, I don't know. Who knows what that channel will end up being, if anything. Vlogging a dead horse, exactly. Plus, the thing most people subscribe for is coming to an end anyway. That's not me saying Andy's dying. But he leaves school in the summer. We're looking into where he's going to be living when that happens. It's not that long until he's not even living with us. And then all those people who are looking for Andy vlogs, well, he's not even here. You ain't getting them. So I'm not going to bring it back, do a few months of Andy vlogs, and then him be gone and be stuck in this situation again. So it needs to be something that I can sustain for the long term. I don't know what that is. Ultimately, as part for the business, we don't need it anymore. It was always unusual for me to have 2 big YouTube channels. Most people survive with one. It'll be fine. Or I might have a really good idea for something really cool that I want to do every week. I would love to start doing travel vlogs, but at the moment we can't travel, so that kind of is a problem. What happened to Theodros? Nothing. He's just come on. He's still there. I will hydrate. Excellent. So this gets us to the semi-final of the Fat Cup restaurant reviews. Maybe. Well, we don't go out to eat enough to be able to do that. Again, stuff like that. That's one of the things holding me back from doing travel or cookery or anything, any of these things that I'm interested in, or even like finance. I would love to do some content about personal finance, but I just don't see how I can build a channel around something like that. I don't know how I could do regular content on it. I've got like 4 video ideas for a personal finance channel, and that's as far as I go. And you can't really build a channel around 4 videos unless you keep remaking the same one, which is what most of the finance guys on YouTube do. They make the same 3 or 4 videos over and over again. And it would just, I'd lose my mind doing that. Right. Plus, the other thing is anything I do on that channel takes time away from the nice little routine I've got into on this channel. I don't mind the richest man in FM comments. That stuff's fine. I don't mind that. I hope I am. I'm certainly not the highest paid, but I'm pretty sensible with my money. So I might be. I don't know. But I'm certainly not the highest paid. Right, we play Yeovil or Newport. Okay, that's doable. But yeah, I don't know. I'm in a nice little routine of making my Football Manager videos in the morning, streaming in the afternoon. I get my evenings off, I get my weekends off. I'd have to give something up there. I'd have to give up to be able to bring back content to that other channel. Whether it's less videos, less streams, or less free time. And I'm quite enjoying the work-life balance at the moment. Maybe that's what the vlog channel turns into, the Chapman chat. Yeah, I don't know. What is it? Well, I feel like we do that here, don't we? Perhaps what I'd have to do is when I'm streaming in the afternoons, sit here making notes about the topics we've covered. And then when I stop streaming at 4 o'clock, turn the camera back on and do 10 minutes just chatting about what we chatted about and put it out as a video. That'd be a terrible channel. Right, it is Yeovil that we're going to be playing in the Fat Cup. I didn't realise that was 2 legs. Did we? I feel like we got to the semi-final last year as well. I don't remember it being 2 legs. Did we get knocked out of the quarter-final last year? No. So we did play a 2-legged semi-final last year. And I just blocked it out of my mind, I guess. To do more work, what's the point potentially getting more money if you've got so little time to enjoy it? Exactly. I'm sure I'll come up with a plan. And to be honest, once the world opens up a little bit more and once we can get out and about a little bit more, it'll be much easier to just get into a rhythm of doing a vlog style video once a week. When I say I'm done with vlogging, I don't mean like if we go to Disneyland or Alton Towers or London or, you know, I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to vlog it because I enjoy doing that. I like being able to look back on those days. It's fun. What I'm never going to do again is be scratching around the house at 7 o'clock in the evening trying to figure out what to put in the next day's vlog. Those days are long behind me. What's the situation in the UK at the moment? Opening up soon. I mean, it kind of is pretty much open. There's very little in the UK now you can't do, but at the same time, that doesn't mean we necessarily want to jump like both feet back into doing stuff. And also we can't travel abroad. So, yeah, it's a tricky one. Do it like what Top Gear Grand Tour does, specials rather than regulars. The problem with that is it will just die on YouTube. If you're not releasing regularly on YouTube on a regular schedule, there's no point doing it. Because it won't, the algorithm won't pay any attention to it. Unless you're like a massive, massive, massive channel with a huge platform somewhere else that can send people to those videos. Like, I know Jackmate, for example, had months and months off of making videos on his YouTube channel because he was focused on his podcast and then came back with a massive YouTube video the other week. But he can do that because he's got the top podcast in the country and can just tweet, hey, I've got a YouTube video out. And people will watch it. Whereas if I've got less Twitter followers than I get views on a Football Manager video most days. So it doesn't really work that way for me. My platform is YouTube. Which podcast is that? Happy Hour. Interview other creators from the stream show down about their best one overview with a short series. But I'm not very good at interviewing. And that's then very FM content again, isn't it? I think I've got a Twitch channel and 2 YouTube channels that are now all about FM. My Twitter is largely about FM. I need to, if I'm going to do that other channel, it needs to be separate. It needs to be something different. Would I go on Happy Hour? If they invited me, yeah. I can't imagine they'd invite me. I think I'm far too small to go on Happy Hour. They've never had anyone on there my size. And I think if they were going to bring a Football Manager YouTuber on, it would probably be the one they know rather than me. Does Twitch work like YouTube where you get paid according to the views you receive? No. The only way you make money on Twitch is through subs and donations. I mean, there is supposedly advertising on here, but it's such a small amount of money. It's not even noticeable. Which one do they know? Ben. They're all the Norfolk posse, aren't they? The Norfolk posse. That's what they call themselves behind the scenes. The Norfolk posse. So cringy when you hear him say it, but plus Jackmate blanked me at Summer in the City a few years ago. I mean, there's no reason why he'd have any idea who I was, but we were both in the green room. And he walked in and I sort of gave him a nod and all right. And he just didn't say anything and just kind of looked through me and then walked out the room again. I'm like, oh, fair enough then, Jack. I mean, I know you don't need to know who I am, but if someone says all right when you walk into a room, you can just say it back. It's fine. So, yeah. He'll have to apologise for that to get me on Happy Hour. He wouldn't. I'd go on anyway. Maybe he was starstruck. It probably is that. Right. 2-0 up. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Keep these legs fresh. Robbie Knox would be able to introduce me. I've never actually spoken to Robbie. I know he was on the showdown, but I don't think he was on a showdown I was on. And even if he was on the lowdown and I would have been competing. So I don't think I've ever had a conversation with Robbie. We've interacted on Twitter a couple of times. I don't think we've ever actually spoken to each other. Are we getting promoted today? Absolutely we are. Absolutely. Come on! Am I in the Prem yet? Yes, I am. Yep. It's a weird Prem. We're so far in the future. The makeup of the Premier League is weird. But yeah, this is the Premier League. I won it when he was on the lowdown, did I? So he must have been there for my winners interview. So maybe I have spoken to him. Right. Oh, that was a fan day. Well, hopefully that'll give us the money we need to not have to get promoted. God, look at the state of that. This is why they've had enough of me. Right, Port Vale are surely promoted now, aren't they? Oh no, because it's not just us chasing them. We're 20 points behind them. But Ebbsfleet are only 10 points behind them. So, I mean, at the moment, we mathematically can't catch them and I've not been fired. So, I think that is good. There you go. The board are disappointed the team failed to win promotion and I've not been sacked. So, fingers crossed, I'm not getting sacked. Now, the one other issue is I think my contract's up at the end of the season. So, although they might sack, should I ask for a new one? Oh. Can I ask for a new one? Should I ask for a new one? Wait until after the playoffs. The board will get back to me shortly to let me know the decision. Your job performance thus far hasn't deserved an early extension. It's not an early extension. It's March. My contract's up in 3 months. I've got a mortgage, Gareth. Well, guess we've got to get promoted then. And now we play Ebbsfleet. Oh, it doesn't rain, it pours. Oh. Right, the fan is going on. Need to get some airflow in here, and it's too cold to have the window open. None of the snow settled. This is early weather. Sometimes you just have to be in the stream on time, or you miss the weather. It's freezing out there. It snowed this morning. There is no snow on the ground. It's not snowing currently. That is today's weather with Kev. Beautiful stuff. A recruitment meeting. What's the point, Imogen? Gareth says I'm not going to be here next. Oh, Gareth's in the meeting. Any excuse for FaceTime with Gareth? Yeah, Gareth, I'm not plan. You know what, Gareth? I'm not really up for planning for transfers. I don't think any of these have warranted a contract. They haven't been in 9 years and got us promoted and turned us into a much bigger club than we ever had any right to be. So no, I'm not really that into it, Gareth. It's all the same with you. I'm not going to sign anyone. Sign him yourself. Sign them yourself if you think they're so good. I'll start trying when you start paying me properly, you turd. Had it with Gareth. I hope there's going to be a... Is there going to be a board takeover? That's what I need. I need a new board to come in. Where does it tell you that? It used to be on here somewhere. Used to be able to see how happy the board were. Oh, it's down the bottom here. The owner loves the club. Yeah, but the club doesn't love you, Gareth. You're trying to get rid of the best manager in our history. Transfer deadline in a week. But the delight... I mean, I'm just going to keep telling him, remember those set pieces, Gareth? Although, let's think long term. Forget the 5-year plan. Forget the season plan. Let's look at the club culture. The club culture, I am nailing. And ultimately, Gareth, that's all that really matters. Leamington set record for number of draws. I mean, summarise our season in one headline. That's why we've not got promoted. Can't wait for May Comic-Con. I am also looking forward to it. Although I don't think Anna's coming because we're going on holiday the day after again. We made the same mistake we did when we went to Disneyland a few years ago, and we've booked a holiday a while back and not thought about when Comic-Con is. So I'm now going to be at Comic-Con Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday morning we're off on holiday. I'm up for that. I'm fine with that. Anna's like, no, I need to be at home packing, doing the washing, preparing Andy, all that kind of stuff. So I think I'll be at Comic-Con on my Todd. That's the 4th time I've had that inbox item. Shows how often I pay attention to what's in the inbox then. Have I ever done a Creator Club series? Yes. Yes. I have. Home on YouTube. Go check it out. We've done it a couple of times. They're a wonderful club. What holiday have we booked? We're going to Centre Parks. Didn't want to risk booking anything that would get cancelled, so we'd been looking for any availability at Centre Parks for like a year, and finally we had a week. Oh, it's not even a week. We're doing the 4-night midweek one. We had a week come up that had the size of cabin we need and allows dogs, so we're just doing it. Which one? The one near Milton Keynes? I forget what it's called. Tizzy, streaming and YouTube is indeed my full-time job. Woburn Forest, there you go. What dogs do I have? I have a Springer Spaniel called Dave. And he's an idiot. Doesn't bode well for the playoffs. I mean, no, it doesn't, does it? One way or the other, we've got to beat Ebbsfleet, and they're obviously better than we are. They're 10 points ahead of us even before this game. We said at the start of the season that I considered Ebbsfleet the big threat. I believe in the playoff win. Creating 20 plus shots a game and barely scoring using the same formation as me. Any tips? Sign better strikers. That's my tip. Or if you can't do that, try a different formation. We keep things simple here. We don't mess around with all the minute fiddling detail. If something's working, you'll win matches. If it isn't working, try something else. What's the plan for the other 2 hours when I get sacked before 2? I don't like you lot sometimes. I don't know. Oh, we'll figure something else out. I'll just watch highlights of the showdown to make myself feel better. We're not even competitive in this game, are we? Which is really alarming. We are not even competitive with Ebbsfleet. We are a distant 3rd best team in this league. And that is not ideal. More! Get sacked, just play some Pokemon. I'm at a frustrating point in that as well. Without spoiling it, I'm at a point where I think I'm very close to the end of the story. But there's this one battle I just can't win. So I need to go and build a new team and grind it out and level it up. And there's one thing I hate doing in Pokemon games. It's having to go and level up a new team. I just get so bored just wandering around grinding the game for no reason. I've only ever finished like 2 or 3 Pokemon games tops because I get to this point in them and I'm like, well, I could go back and grind a new team. That's an important goal. Or I could just stop. Yeah, this is on Arceus. Oh, that's an important goal. Oh, imagine if we score another one. This could be amazing. Oh, very close as well. Yeah, another draw for the collection. This is us breaking the record. We previously just equaled the record. This is us breaking the record. I'm 18 hours in. I'm constantly ridiculously over-leveled. I'm like 20 hours in, and I've finished all of those boss fights that you're talking about. So I'm ridiculously under-leveled. That is an important goal. Oh, it's back on, boys and girls. Just savor the moment. Savor it. We're going up. That goes a long way towards securing a top 3 place for us. Backdoor Kev is at it again. So we're now only 7 points behind Ebb Street. There's a big gap between us and Barrow. Once we secure top 3, I'll be feeling a lot better. Yeah, what I was saying... See, I stopped myself talking about Pokemon there to help Chris out. What a man. But yeah, I just mainline the story in Pokemon games. I only just got to the 3rd area of my Pokemon being level 45. My Pokemon are like level 50, and I'm trying to do the final boss. Because I just mainline the story. I can't stand just grinding around pointlessly. I just go from story beat to story beat to story beat. And I've managed to get this far. It's the story of every game I ever play. I don't like the boring in-betweeny bits. I just like to get through the story. The story is boring. The fun thing is catching all the Pokemon. Strong disagree. The only thing worth playing it for is the story. Catching Pokemon is manual labor that I have to go through to get more story. If they could just give me Pokemon to get me to the next bit of story, I'd be all over that. Got no interest in catching all the Pokemon. I won't complete the Pokedex. I don't care. What starter did I choose? What's it called? Oshawott? Is that what it's called? Why am I playing Pokemon then? Because it's fun. I want to see where the story goes. It's obviously no coincidence that they re-released Diamond and Pearl 2 months before bringing this game out, so it was fresh in everybody's mind. Right, Kevin Cairns. He's out of contract at the end of the season. He's still showing 5-star potential, but we're just not using him. There has to come a point, and that point might be when he's 21 years old. There has to come a point where we're like, who cares about your potential, Kev? But maybe we give him 1 more year. Let's see how much money he wants. We can't afford to have breakthrough prospects on proper money. Yeah, see, that is not doable. If he's not a first team regular, he's our 3rd choice left back. If he's not going to be starting regularly, we can't pay him £1,000 a week. Muller is a similar scenario. It does play more games. So maybe we will get... See, and he wants less money. That's much more reasonable. Cairns could learn a lot from looking at Muller. He says, whilst messing up the contract renewal. So he can get a contract. He's probably not going to get one. Probably let Cairns go unless we get promoted. The only interesting thing about the story for me is that they're actually scared of Pokemon. Because I don't know how much of the story you've read about. I haven't read any of it. So I don't know if the story's going where I think it's going. And I don't want to spoil it and tell people what my theories are based on how much of it I've played. So we'll perhaps reconvene this conversation in a couple of weeks when everyone's had the chance to get through to the same point I'm at. But if the story's going where I think it might, then it's awesome. If it's not, then it's just another Pokemon game. My 18-year-old left back just got up to 4-star, currently 5-star potential in the Champions League group stage team. I found a wonder kid. Nice. How's my sleep these days? Any improvements? Well, I haven't got the CPAP machine yet, so no improvements at the moment. I'm still 100% oxygen free. I just know as much as I would know who's in. Yeah, okay, then. Come back to me. We'll talk again when we've both finished it. For now, I don't want to spoil it for you. All right. Who are we playing to spend anymore? Let's go win a football match. Right. Come on! Spennymoor down in 11th place. It's Captain Cartwheel in goal. Come on, Captain Cartwheel. Do us a favour. Let us do some footballs. We should really sign Captain Cartwheel. Come on, Gilksy. Spennymoor, your local team, but I hope you win. Thank you very much. I agree. Needs do must. No one wants to get sacked from Leamington. Makes a mockery of non-league to legend. If it turns out, if I hadn't have left when I did, I'd have got fired. We'll just have to pretend none of this ever happened. Delete the VODs. Oh, God, we're losing again. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know about it. Because the last thing we want to do is limp into the playoffs in poor form. We've got to get ourselves into some good form going into these playoffs. Beating Ebbsfleet was a good start. But we need to beat everybody. Hydration incoming with a very faded flash mug. This used to be one of my work mugs when I was a teacher. But now it's been absolutely battered by the dishwasher. Oh, come on. Which suggests it probably was never dishwasher safe in the first place. Because it's ruined. Which is very sad. Right, here we go. Equalizer. No. Who's my favourite DC superhero? I don't know. I like them all. Wonder Woman, maybe? I do like a good Wonder Woman book. Oh! Right, we go attack him. We demand more again. And then we have a look to see what's on the bench. What have we got? Okoronkwo's still not fully fit. So we can't bring him on. We can bring on Redfern. Kevin Cairns can bring some energy. I guess we swap both fullbacks. And Redfern. Kev Christian, thank you for the sub. More! Have I seen any of the WWE 2K footage? I haven't. I'm not really interested. I don't really play those games. Right, an equalizer would be good. An equalizer would be good. There's an equalizer. Are we becoming experts at last-minute goals? Because that would be perfect if we are. That's a great skill to have going into the playoffs. If we become last-minute goal experts. Come on, let's have another one. More! Get it up the other end and do a football. Come on. We've got 50 seconds to grab a winner. Nah! Oh. Come on. Come on. Come on. Archie Moose, thank you for the sub. Here comes the winner. Linton flying down the right-hand side. He's going to whip that cross in. We're queuing up in the middle. No. Kevin Cairns, I'll give you a new contract if you stick this in the top corner. Winning a penalty works. Winning a penalty works. He's still not having the new contract. But come on. For the second game in a row, we're going to grab 2 goals in the last couple of minutes. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We do the last minute goals, boys and girls. Ho, ho, ho. This is like the opposite of how we've been throughout my entire spell at Leamington. We're always shattered by the end of the match. It's 2 years full time finally got us the fitness levels we need to play this system. And we're now capitalizing on other teams tiring. Right, we are 8 points clear. They've got 4 games remaining. We're still not guaranteed top 3. What does the board think about that? I mean, they're still going to be grumpy. We've got Yeovil in the Fat Cup now as well. Check in with the board. I mean, they're still disappointed. Very pleased. It's quality of pressing on display. You're all using a Gegenpress style. Yeah, see, that's why I have to do it. I'm impressing the board. I'm not doing it because it's good in Football Manager. Finally, trusting the process works. Trusting the process always works. You're familiar with my track record at Football Manager. We always get there in the end. The only reason we're in this pickle is because of a couple of moments of bad luck. We are still massively overachieving with Leamington. We are still Leamington pushing for a place in the Football League, which is absurd to think about. And we might have double trips to Wembley here, which would be beautiful. That should sort out some of the finances a little bit. Double trips to Wembley. Ah! Learn the buttons, Kev. Learn the buttons. Come on! Imagine if we... I think the Fat Cup final was after the playoff final. Imagine if we book our spot at Wembley, then lose the playoffs, either get fired and don't get to manage the team at Wembley to win the Fat Cup. That would be heartbreaking. The next gen list. Let's have a look to see if anyone we recognise from non-league to legend is on the next gen list. Is that the guy that we've got at Norwich now? Or is that a different George Anser, who's a defensive midfielder and is German? The one we've got's on loan from Bayern Munich. Do you reckon he started at Fortuna Dusseldorf and went to Bayern? That's surely the same guy. See, this is fun. It's quite nice having 2 saves in the same universe at different stages, because we get to have Michele. That's the left back we've just signed on loan, isn't it, from Manchester United? So, look, we could have caught him really cheap earlier on. My scouting needed to be better. Fries is still on there, look. We signed for Schalke. He's still available on the cheap in this save. Palaskonis is on there, who we had at Peterborough. Still a few of my boys knocking around. Without me, none of them have moved on from their clubs. That's it, I think. Well, there we go. I don't know why I've got 2 foam swords in here. This is the sort of thing that can go to my new storage unit. Right, Okoronkwo probably does need a new contract, but does he need a new contract on £1.5 a week? Yes, he's scored goals consistently at this level. But is he going to score goals in League 2? How much does he want? We can convince him to take a pay cut. That'd be lovely. Bet he doesn't, though. He doesn't want a pay rise, though. To be fair, just the fact that he's not asked for a pay rise, we might actually be able to convince him to do a pay cut. Okay, 1.4. There you go. He is taking a pay cut. I imagine some of these have gone up a little bit, but we don't worry about them. Okaronko's took a pay cut. Linton, no. Brogdon, no. Redfern, not really. Muller, we've already offered a contract to. I don't know who he is. Because he's out on loan, that's why. Matthew Green has got loads of potential. And he's wanted by bigger clubs. Lots of bigger clubs. So we have got an extension we can trigger, but if we can get him to accept less than £525 a week. Yeah, see, why would we trigger the extension when we can just give him a pay cut? The boys understand. Go on. Okay, 400 then, 400. There we go, see? See? Pay cuts. This is what I'm talking about. Kevin Cairns, we're going to chat with you again. Can we convince you to take a pay cut? You've seen lots of precedent. See, this is a problem. He wants a big pay rise. That's not how it works around here at the moment. You're on 775. You are getting a pay cut because everyone else is taking a pay cut. Better and more important players than you are taking a pay cut. So if that means you have to leave, then so be it. You're probably going to leave them. Okay. None of them are any good, so they can all be released. But that helps. That, if we have a look at the finances, we actually save a couple of £100. We're still nowhere near the wage budget, but every little helps. With a Tesco of non-league. Although they would claim they probably give the extra little. So perhaps Okoronkwo's the Tesco of the non-league. Is that how it works? We should nickname him Tesco. Can he play centre-back? Why would we? What's going on with our centre-backs? What's going on here? I've brought all these trialists in and not looked at them. So Smith's both injured and suspended. Well, he's timed his suspension right then, I guess. This guy's suspended and he's only in on trial. That's impressive. Kiezu's still injured. I'm just going to have a quick look at these trialists because otherwise I'm going to forget. Is there anyone really good that we should be bringing in? I mean, probably him. I bet we can't afford him. He's the guy who's already suspended, isn't he? See, this is my kind of deal. This is business right here. You're not having a signing on fee. This could be the new Roberts. Right, if we got anyone else like that. He's the one who appears on all the lists. He's even there as the attack. So he's there, better than what we've already got, everywhere from centre-back through to attacking midfielder. He can just play everywhere. Holy smokes. That's because he's not a free agent yet. He's at Arsenal. But he looks like he could probably be quite good then. Then we've got this guy who is a central midfielder who can also play up front and at wing back. From Newcastle. So these are the block of four that we want if we can get these. So if we can get him. I mean, obviously there are going to be other clubs in for these players and there's going to come a point where we can't afford the contracts. But for now, if we can try and secure some of these boys, that'd be super. There's no point bringing him in because we don't play with wide players. I was going to say we could play him at left back, but this guy's a left back and has 5-star potential, so it would make more sense to bring him. I see, now we can't afford him. So it might just be those two that we get. If we can get those two, that would be super. A lot of white stars on the potential. It's part of being in non-league. You take the risk. I'm not afraid of the white stars. They could turn green. I found a 4-star current ability 18-year-old at a value of 5 million. Was all set to sign him until Man City found him and offered 25 million. Nice. They'll do that. They will do that. Manchester City. Scum. The lot of them. Green. Why are you saying green? Question mark. What's green? Green. Do you think they're green? Not yellow. I know you're colourblind. Just didn't realise. Oh, what? The stars? They are yellow. Don't know why I said green. No, I can see that they're yellow. Don't know why I said green. I thought you were telling me about Matthew Green. Like I was playing him in goal or something. You panicked me there. Penalty o'clock. Alfie Chang, 10th goal of the season. Pretty sure all of them are penalties. They used to be green, did they? Well, there you go then. That's why I said green. I'm old school. We could do with winning this like 3-0 and taking the pressure off the away leg. Oh, that's a good cross. Was not to be though. Oh, good room. I basically had to dislocate his head to be able to connect with that. That was good work. Unfortunately, wasn't able to keep it down. I thought I'd dislocated my head earlier. I was just stretching my neck a little bit and I went one side and it was just an almighty bang coming out of my neck. Felt like something had exploded in there. But it did take the neck pain away. I'm viewing it as a good thing at the moment. If I exploded part of my spine, at the moment, I can still hold my head upright. So fingers crossed, it's a slow explosion. Govey, thank you very much for the sub. Am I watching any of the Winter Olympics? Probably not. I don't really have any interest in Olympic stuff. And I was watching the opening ceremony earlier. She loves opening ceremonies, but has no interest in the actual sport. That's an important goal. I'll watch the one where they ski a bit, then shoot something, then ski a bit, then shoot something. That fascinates me because I don't understand how it's a sport. I might watch a bit of that. It's just like, I mean, did you not have enough sports? You've just made one up there, haven't you? What do you want to do at the Olympics? I think I'm just going to do the ski a bit, shoot a bit. Love all that. But you do get some bonkers sports at the Winter Olympics. Biathlon, it's called, is it? It's dumb, is what it is. How is that a sport? The old ski a bit, shoot a bit. To test endurance. How does shooting test endurance? Why isn't it ski a bit, repair a car? Why is it shoot something? I'd be really interested in the ski a bit, repair a car tournament. Try running a mile then holding a gun. Try running a mile and then cooking a stir fry. Why is that not a sport? You can tell me it's hard. That doesn't make it a sport. It's an old military sport. Stir fry is not a sport. Neither is shooting a gun. I do the walk down the stairs and stir fry sport. I'd like to watch that. I'd like to watch that as much as I'd like to watch most of the Winter Olympics. If shooting's a sport, then throwing a horseshoe at a stick is a sport as well. I'll allow it to. We've had the is it a sport conversation before. You know my stance on this. I'll allow it as a pastime. I'll allow it as a hobby. It's absolutely not a sport. Shooting's in the Summer Olympics. That doesn't make it a sport. Synchronized swimming's in the Olympics. That's not a sport either. Don't get me started on what is and isn't sports. How far into the weeds are we going to get? We're not. We've had the conversation before. Some of you get irrationally upset by it. And nobody's going to change my mind. For the Olympic Games, not the Olympic sports. That's the best argument anyone's ever given me. In that case, I want Halo to be in it. My definition of a sport is a very complex one. It's difficult for a lot of people to wrap their head around. If I feel like it's a sport, it's a sport. If I think about it and think, nah, that's not a sport, then it's not a sport. Those are the criteria. So based on those criteria, the best judge is me. Is table tennis a sport? Yes. Is darts a sport? No. Is Formula One a sport? No. You have to figure out the line somewhere in there. Snooker's not a sport. Crazy golf, not a sport. Actual golf is a sport. It's all very simple. Do I feel like it's a sport or not? Right, if we can get Sherwood on loan for another season, that'll be super. £250 a month. We'll have a piece of that. I'm starting to put together next year's team, even though I'm probably not going to be here. Okoronkwo's taking his pay cut. F1 is within motorsport, which is not sport. How's golf and darts different? Because one of you play in a pub and one of you play on a field. That should be obvious. If they start playing darts outside wearing PE kit, then it becomes a sport. But if it's played indoors wearing jeans, it's not a sport. See, it's very simple criteria, but it does have its little nuances and complexities. Do I play golf in my PE kit? I don't play golf at all. I mean, that's another good definition of a sport. Can I do it? If I can, it's probably not a sport. So I can play snooker, I can play darts, I can't play golf. There you go. I can't run a marathon. I can shoot a gun. I can't drive Formula One. Actually, I probably could. Because that falls the wrong side of the rule. I can drive a car. We'll put it there. Can I drive an F1 car? I can drive an actual car. I probably can't fit in a Formula One car. I can't play football. Can't wait to see you ski and shoot. I can't ski, but I can shoot. So take the shooting out of it and make it just skiing. You don't need another skiing event. The Winter Olympics is all skiing. It's like at the Summer Olympics when they have an entire week of swimming. Swimming should be one morning a week. You go there on the coach from school. You do an hour of swimming and that's your lot. That's what it should be at the Olympics. You get an hour. You don't get an entire week of swimming. That's mad. I don't care what Google's definition of a sport is. I've given you my definition. Do I feel like it's a sport or not? It's all the definition you need. Skiing's just a winter version of running. Exactly. So they one day for that. You don't need running every day. It's a lovely finish. I'm having major days. That's because I said we've had this conversation before. We don't need to have it again. You can do all the sport, whether or not you... I strongly beg to differ. If I tried to run a marathon, I would die. If I tried to ride a bike, I would die. Is horse racing a sport? No. Horses might consider it a sport, but it's not a sport for humans. Oh, I thought that was going to be a third beauty. Is Wii Sports a sport? No. If it requires physical exertion, it's a sport. Getting out of a chair is not a sport. So I'm not having that as a definition either. The definition is very simple. Do I think it's a sport or not? Are esports a sport? No. So I can ride a horse. It'd have to be a strong horse, but probably. I have ridden a horse. Just found out yesterday there's professional pillow fighting. That's closer to a sport than skiing a bit and shooting a bit, which is where all this started. Would I class snooker as a sport? Nope. You can do it in a pub, it's not a sport. Someone told me about curling. Curling fascinates me because that's just sweeping up, isn't it? I don't understand. Bowling is not a sport. Although apparently there was a school in Peterborough that was near the bowling alley in Peterborough that sometimes for PE they'd go 10-pin bowling. That was the urban legend that we had when I was at school, just outside of Peterborough. We heard that sometimes they got to go bowling for PE, which seems fascinating. It's obviously not a sport. If you can get served scampi and chips while doing it, it's not a sport. We are establishing a set of rules now. If you can do it in a pub, it's not a sport. If you can get served scampi whilst taking part in it, it's not a sport. What did I used to teach? Computer science. Try serving someone scampi and chips while they're driving an F1 car. The rules don't necessarily, they don't work the other way necessarily. These are just ways to really quickly and easily work out if something's not a sport. Driving a car's not a sport because it's literally sitting down and letting a car do all the work. It's like riding a horse or flying a plane. You'll be telling me that flying someone to Mallorca on their holiday is a sport next. It's not a sport. I can drive a car. That's not a sport. If you're that into motorsport, stick a deck chair in the middle of a roundabout and just watch the cars go by. It's fascinating. Computer science is not a real subject. It's the only real subject. The only subject that's relevant in the 2020s. It's the subject that will separate the coding class from the non-coding class, which is how humans will be differentiated in the future. Can you code? No. Ooh. You're not allowed in here then, you weird non-coder. That's codophobic, and that'll be entirely acceptable in the new society that I'm going to form. Is mayonnaise an instrument? It's as close to being an instrument as F1 is to being a sport, yes. Waffle, thank you very much for 5 months.
Another month, another stream showdown.
Not trying to divert the conversation, but your side have found some form at the right time. I mean, that generally happens when I stop paying attention. Usually, if I'm concentrating too hard, things go wrong. I think that's why we struggle in the playoffs, because I'm fully engaged in them. When I'm not really paying attention, that's when form just happens. That means I can't use it. That feels like a you problem, Chris. We've got to distract me when the playoffs start. Yes, absolutely. We're guaranteed straight into the semis, are we? So, we are 1 match away from trip to Wembley number 1. And then we need Wembley trip number 2. Win them both. Will call me 2 Wembley Chapman. And we'll be in the Football League. Player of the Year. Have we got any of ours on the list? Goodrum and Smith are the 2 that are on the list. So we have to vote for the worst one. Give them the best chance of winning. Tom Harvey at Telford. Have a vote from old Kev. Going to win the Fat Cup and the playoffs. Absolutely we are. Who the hell is John Richards? Oh, he's one of those kids that we were bringing in, isn't he? Don't know if he's going to be any good or not, but it's a nice little gift for the next manager. So he's in from Newcastle. He's going to need a good haircut before he arrives. Sort yourself out, John. You need a H in your name and a proper haircut. Goodness me. The things I have to do for these boys. Lord Lichtensnicker. Thank you very much for the sub. Why am I getting sacked? Hopefully I'm not. I haven't got a beverage here. At one moment, I think there's some bottles of water just outside the room. I need a drink. My trousers are falling down. Why is the Norwich shirt still out? Who's arranged all this? Okay. Beverage. John is a legit first name if it's short for Jonathan. Well, shall we find out if that guy's legit then? Nope. Playing Football Manager full-time a proper job? Absolutely not. No, it's absurd. Right, Sherwood's coming back in again. Beautiful. That's a good signing. Keeping our relationship with Coventry strong. Right. Ding, 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 ding. Very tuneful. Bring Sherwood back in, and now he's not on the bench. What's that all about? Right. Fat Cup semi-final, leg 2. John's fault is John is 17 years old. He's old enough to have changed his name by now. Hopefully his parents were as considerate as mine were. They gave me an exotic first name and a mundane middle name. In case I didn't like my exotic first name, I could go by my middle name. Believe it or not, Kevin was the exotic first name. So I then got a normal middle name, David, in case I wanted to be known by Dave. They did the same with my brother. His exotic name, Callum. Middle name, John. So we could be Dave and John. Alas, we are not. We both stayed exotic. Yeah, you basically, if you want to start calling me exotic Kev, I'm up for that. I don't mind that. Hopefully my name was David Kevin Chapman. Kevin is exotic. Yeah, remember, this was the early 80s. Kevin was a very exotic name. What about Kev Exotic? I'm not as keen on that. By exotic, I think they just meant not one of like the 5 really common, normal, boring names. Jack David Thomas Jones. I'm about as generic as you can get. I was going to say Thomas is the fanciest of all of them. Right, we are 40 minutes away from Wembley. Not geographically, Yeovil's miles away, but metaphorically we are. Come on! Right. Come on, boys. Let's do all the footballs. No, that's not what I was trying to do there. What have I done here? I've done that substitution the wrong way around. Oh, what have I done? Right, I'm trying to take off Goodrum. There you go. I don't know how I ballsed that up the first time. That's what I was trying to do. My parents thought naming me Benjamin was adventurous. That is pretty adventurous. Who have we lost here? Cairns. Well, that's what he gets for not signing a new contract, the turd. You can stick him in there, can't we? He can play... Can Muller play? I thought Muller could play holding midfielder as well. I guess we'll just put him into a midfield 3. I just did that first time. That's one of my greatest achievements in Football Manager. First time of asking, I just put a player in between 2 other players. That is unheard of. Right, come on then. What would I rate Nathan on the exotic scale? That's pretty exotic. Not quite as exotic as Nathaniel. Wooster's just done a terrible mistake there. If that lets Yeovil back into this, I'll be very upset. Oh, that's so poor. How exotic was the name Stuart be? Stuart's a complicated name, so there's so many ways to spell it. Right. Although we are at Wembley, it's not ideal that we've picked up a defeat to derail the momentum. Port Vale losing 7-1, did you say? They're already promoted though, aren't they? So they don't care. 8-1! Dover at bottom of the league! What the hell has gone on there? Dover are already relegated. Port Vale are already champions. And Dover just won 8-1 over Port Vale. I feel like this needs a tweet. I'm not saying this is definitely match fixing, but... And of course, a link to the stream. And then we need the league table. And that result. That is bonkers. I don't understand. So Port Vale scored after 2 minutes. Look at the match stats and the XG. Kremelmeyer had a terrible game. It's all his fault. Aaron Kremelmeyer. Oh, it's his first ever game. I don't think he'll play for them again. This isn't attribute masking. That's his actual attributes. Oh, bless him. Nelson's there like, oh, I've got a 7. What have you lot been doing? He's in a defence that's conceded 8 and he's somehow got a 7 out of 10. That must be a heavily rotated side, surely. Yeah, their normal goalkeeper was available. They just really rotated. That is bonkers. Right, Cairns has played his last game for us, I think. But that is our first trip to Wembley sorted. We now play Yeovil again in the league. So, where are Yeovil in the league? Yeovil are hovering just outside the playoffs. So, we really need to beat them here to send them a message going into these playoffs. How are the board feeling about my league position? They should be fine. See, they're fine. I'm going to deliver them the Fat Cup and they're going to be over the moon. They've never won a trophy. In all these... Oh, we'll just sign him first because he looks excellent. All these years this club has existed, they've never won anything. Let's have a look at the trophy cabinet, shall we? The National League North that I won. And then a bunch of pathetic things that are nothing to do with me. Whatever the bigfreebet.com Challenge Cup is. They're about to win their first legitimate trophy. It's all thanks to me. Also, signing this guy. He's gonna make us money. My rating C. Yeah, they don't hate me, but they've got to like me enough to decide to give me a new contract as well. So I think I'm less worried about getting outright sacked at this point than I was. I am a little bit alarmed if we don't go up, they'll just let my contract expire though. I'm not really sure what happens there. Does that mean I leave or do I stay on a non-contract until I earn a contract? Bunch of trash youth players that we're never going to use. Brilliant. To month until they sack me. Okay. Well, that's workable. Rolling daily contract. Yeah, so they decide after every match whether or not they're going to fire me. I need to earn a contract. I can't plan for long term on a rolling contract, although that would be a comeback. That would be a story better than the Alex Ferguson story. When I'm there winning my Champions League and all people talk about is that time I was on a rolling contract at Leamington because they wasn't sure whether or not they wanted to keep me. That'd be brilliant. Scott, thank you for 3 months. We're going as close to the brink as we can possibly get before ultimately we're going to win the Champions League with this club. And then maybe one day take Leamington back to Leamington. Wooster wants to be trading on a 9.55 after that goal he conceded in the last game. Somewhere in the 2050s. I think that as soon as we get promoted, we'll be in the Premier League within 5 years. How do you see a player's preferred position? I just add it onto the thing at the top. Just add it on as a column. So I've got their position and their best position. Scott from this time next year with millionaires energy about it. Getting up through League 1 and League 2 is easy peasy. Why we don't even bother doing it on YouTube. We just skip past it. It's so easy. It just doesn't even need to be watched. It's so straightforward. Right, let's do another football. Back in Yeovil again. I hope we stayed down in Yeovil for the week. I mean, we are £500,000 in debt, but a week in a Yeovil hotel can't be that expensive for an entire squad of players, surely. It's got to be cheaper than the petrol on the bus to get there and back. Right, come on, boys. Are the videos on LOLLUJO 2 caught up? They're as up to date as they're ever going to be. They're never going to be completely up to date because of the Twitch exclusivity, and apparently Chris needs time to edit them as well, which... I don't know. Seems like a bit of an excuse as far as I'm concerned. But they'll always be a couple of days behind. So I think today's video was Monday's stream, and there's been one other stream since then. But that's as up to date as they'll ever be. How many years is this since I moved on in Unleashed Legend? I think 2, maybe? That is a beautiful goal from Gilks. How am I in so much debt? Because we went full time and that's really expensive. Chris should be editing the stream as we go. Yeah, I agree. Isn't he allowed to feed his kids when not editing his streams? But that's it. Yeah, that's all he's allowed to do. Is every streamer / content creator as nice to their editor as Kev is? I hope so. It's important to be nice to people. I like to be nice. This is what we should have done in the last match. Is corner rocking a permitted activity and contract? I mean, it counts as holiday, so we'll add up the hours. It's fine. Smithy, thank you for 9 months.
9 months, watch you. You fantastic fella. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Oh, Gethin in there with a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. We paid too much attention in the last match. Yeah, I think that's probably it. I don't even know who scored in this game. I saw Gilks' goal because it was brilliant. Twitch bio still says 6 times streaming showdown winner. Yeah, I've decided I'm just going to update that every 3 or 4 showdown wins. It's too much effort to do it every time. I'd be forever typing. So we'll get around to that eventually. I'm a busy man. I've spent all morning arranging a storage unit. I don't have time to update my Twitch bio. I might just change it to multiple time winner because I'm never going to remember to change it. I mean, bearing in mind my schedule on there is still probably about 2 FMs out of date. When does the new desk arrive? Ha, well, that's the thing. It's not clear. It's coming from Belgium. It got collected in Belgium yesterday, and it said it would be, when I ordered it, it said dispatch within 4 to 5 days. It took 3 days. Delivery within 5 to 10 business days. I ordered it on Monday. So it could be as early as Monday. It might be the end of next week. I don't know. I hope it's sooner rather than later because I really need it. I am struggling with my, I mean, I don't really want to talk about this on stream. It seems unprofessional, but my butthole. I am struggling with my butthole still. So I'd like it sooner rather than later, but can't rush these things, can I? No, it's not a Secret Labs desk. It's a fully desk. A fully sit-stand desk. And plus, I ordered it, and they asked, did I want it on wheels? And I was like, well, I don't want my desk on wheels. So I said no. And then I thought about it and thought, actually, it being on lockable wheels would be so convenient because then I could have it in the middle of the room, attach everything to the back of it, and then just wheel it into place and lock the wheels. So I then ordered the wheels the day after. So I might be in a situation where the desk comes, but then the wheels only got picked up in Belgium today. So the wheels are a day behind. So I might have to wait with it all just piled in the hallway for a day until the wheels come. Because the wheels are going to be a game changer. And then the day we do it, I need to then get the van from the storage unit and take everything off this desk and pile it in the living room. Take this desk to the storage unit to get it out of the way. Then build the new desk and put everything back on the desk again, which I'm hoping is a one-day activity. We'll see. Get Nerdphonic on standby for when it all goes wrong. We all know this will be over a week. Well, when I first moved into this house, I got up and running in a day. Anna was furious. I was up and running and streaming out of this room before we'd unpacked the kitchen. So I've set this room up in a day before. The fact you've not just gone to Matt is baffling. He prefers it this way. He likes it when I ring him and ask him to fix what I've broken rather than just asking him to do it. He always mutters something about next time just ask me to do it, which I assume is his little joke. So now I just, I do it, I break it, and then I get him to come over and fix it, and he gets to grumble. He loves it. It's our little back and forth that he loves so much. He loves it when I have a little try first. Yeah, he loves that almost as much. His most favourite thing that I do is when I message him and say, Matt, I've bought something and I can't get it to work with my setup. And his response is always, why did you not ask me if it would work first? Why have you already bought it? Why didn't you ask me what to buy? He loves that one. Put together a similar desk, took a couple of hours, and it was really heavy to get into place. But that's why I'm thinking the wheels will be a massive bonus, because I can just wheel it into place. Remember to label your cables and remove them. That should help when you try and plug stuff back in. I mean, it should be relatively straightforward to plug in. It's a computer, some lights, a camera. It'll be fine. Fine. Because I think we all know I'm not going to label anything. And I think we also all know when I'm done, there's going to be a massive pile of cables in the corner of the room that I haven't plugged back in. Everything seems to be working fine. Because there'll be loads of... I've only been in this office a year and a half, but there'll be loads of cables down there that are no longer used. This is the third camera that I've used as my webcam. The cables for the other two are still down there. There was no way to remove them. They're tangled in the big knot of cables. You know how some people have a rubber band ball on their desk? I have a cable ball under my desk. This camera does focus, Chris. It's autofocus. The other one was never in focus at all because I had to manually focus it. Sometimes the autofocus drifts a little on the camera. I think that's because I've got such a busy background. Or the camera. What I need is a microphone that can be off camera like that. Then the microphone will never get in the way. But as you can probably hear, that sounds a bit rubbish being that far away. I should get a shotgun mic above. Plus, it's because I move around all the time and move the autofocus. But if you remember the previous camera, half the time it wasn't focused when I was doing intros. Sure, you can justify the purchase. What, for a shotgun mic? It won't sound as good as this one, though. Matt tells me this is the best microphone and that's the best camera. Matt knows. I should just stop dancing around like a chimpanzee. Comboxed Gunner, thank you very much for the sub. What about above my head? What, for the microphone? There's no way. I mean, it could... I guess I could have it like that. But I feel like King and a Wang's having it up there. And I imagine that still sounds rubbish. Does that still sound rubbish up there? Feels weird it being up there. When I sat down like this mumbling, you won't be able to hear me properly. Whereas when I'm here, it sounds amazing. Right, I think... Is this the last day of the regular season? It is. We can only finish third. Are the PC specs and descriptions still correct? Probably. Whatever. If there's one labelled as editing PC, that's now the only PC I use. I don't have a separate PC for editing and gaming anymore. How much did the camera and mic cost? The camera and lens, that it was like 1,500, I think, for the two. The microphone was about 400, but then it's got the Go XLR with it as well. So the total audio visual experience, including capture card, Go XLR, camera, mic, it's probably like $3,000 worth of setup just for the camera and microphone. So no, I'm not replacing them anytime soon. Yeah, this is the Shure SM7B. Specs still have SSD, and surely that's wrong. No, why would an SSD be wrong? May I suggest resting people for the playoffs? What, in the playoffs? I'll rest them in the semi-final. It'll be fine. That's what you mean, right? It's all about M2 storage now. It is an M2 SSD, I think. I don't know. Again, Matt did it all. I just copied off the invoice, the specs, into that. I don't know what any of it is. What I do need is a new graphics card at some point, but Tomothy and his crypto bros preventing me from being able to get one. The computer starts in under 3 to 5 seconds. It's an M2. It does. It does. It'll be an M2 SSD and it will just have my operating system on it. It's half a terabyte. It has my operating system and FM on it, and Premiere Pro and Photoshop. Basically, all the stuff I use constantly is on the SSD, and the hard drive. Is it a 2 terabyte hard drive? It's a big hard drive. That's just storage. Well, that was unfortunate. We've just had a penalty saved. Why did Chang not take the penalty? Oh, because Okoronkwo's on a hat-trick. We're usually so solid from penalties, but silly old Okoronkwo. I'm not sure if Okoronkwo's top scorer in the league. We'll have to have a look in a minute. Come on! Whatever happened to Frenchie? You know what happened to Frenchie. We'll have a look in a minute. Perhaps bring him back for the Football League. We'll be able to afford to bring him back if we get promoted. Yeah, 93 points, I think, is our highest ever point total. We've been around, I think we've been 89 or more for each of the last 3 years and still can't get up automatically because the AI's just decided to mess with me. Oh, what Gilks is getting better and better. Now we're playing him at left back constantly. He's starting to look as good as he did before we sold him to Coventry. And there is Okoronkwo's hat-trick. But that was sensational from Gilks. Just the change of pace there to go past his man here. That was brilliant. And then skips past him again. What a good player. I spent around £200 to upgrade my computer to play from 22. Made the rookie mistake of getting a hard drive. I hate a normal hard drive instead of a solid state one. And I bought this computer a year and a half ago. Ouch. Right. Let's have a little look, shall we, at who needs resting. Chris says I have to rest some people, so yes, we've got to rest some people. He can come off as well. Sorted. Right, come on. Let's not mess this up. Ah! What was that? That was messing it up. Right, let's have a fourth. No, see, that's not a fourth, is it? That was a miss. You missed there, you silly goose. Tell you what, 15 goals from him when he's not been a regular starter. He doesn't even have a regular position. Sometimes I play him midfield, sometimes I play him up front. He's becoming a bit of a superstar for us. And that's a very good header. Only 3 points behind Ebbsfleet. We're in better form than Ebbsfleet. I know it's very much tempting fate doing what I'm about to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. Fate be damned. I'm going to see who's the form team in the division. I suspect it might be us. How long's my playoff winless streak? 12 in a row. This is number 13. But we have lost 12 playoffs in a row. So we are the form team in the league. There you go. Have that, fate. 5 from 5. We're the form team. We're basically guaranteed promotion. It'll be fine. Right, I just need to let the world know what's happening. Well, after 12 consecutive playoff defeats, we're about to get started on number 13. Come on, come and play with Kev. What it should say. It'll be fine, match. Someone else has already done it though, I think. I think Click for Taz already has It'll Be Fine merch. Not exactly in the same genre as me, but I'm sure she has. Oh, hers says I'm fine. Okay, that is different enough. Maybe I can get away with it and not be seen to be ripping her off. Excellent work. Write that down, somebody. Posture check. There you go. Somebody get that written down in my ideas book. A brief update for the board. Oh, hang on. Breaking news. We'll do Gareth's voice for this, shall we? With our National League campaign now at an end, please note that any talks regarding future expectations will commence after the upcoming final. To summarise, the board are satisfied with your management of the team. The board are disappointed that the team only reached the playoff of the National League. We are very much looking forward to Leamington's participation in the final and wish you and your squad the best of luck. Gareth, we've got the semi-final first. You want to just tone it down just a smidgen? Oh, he's talking about the fat cup, is he? I mean, if the fat cup's enough to keep him happy, then I'll give him the fat cup. It'll be fun. Where's my... I don't know where my book is. I've lost my book. I can see last year's book. Can't see this year's book. Let's write merch in big letters. We'll do It'll Be Fine, beer mats, and what else do people like? 3D printed key rings. T-shirts, maybe. Come on! Oh, he's got a good beard. Can I sign him? Zane Jessup, 32. Looks good for 32. Do you want to be my new assistant manager, Zane? No? No. Fair enough, then. I've put in staff chat in Discord. I know what Discord is. I just forget to go on it because I'm old. And it'll be fine, gilet. Is there anywhere that does custom gilets at a reasonable price? We'll do gilets and cycling shorts. That'll be the entire range. And flip-flops. Right, we're playing Woking. We finished 10 points behind us. And when we played them in the league... Oh, no, I was going to say we played them on the last day. We didn't. That's who we're about to play. We drew 1-1 away at their place, but we're playing them at home now. And when we played them at home, we beat them 1-1. So, fingers crossed, we'll win it again. Do a football and it'll be fine, merch. Wonderful. That's do a football. It definitely is a thing we should do for sure. Are we going to get our new players in time for the Fat Cup final? Are we going to be able to play them? Because the squad is tiny. It'd be nice to have a couple of extra players for the Fat Cup. We could have Fat Cup final debuts. We didn't set the record number of draws in the end. Oh, we're a bunch of failures. Maybe we'll draw now. Right, here we go then. The playoffs. What could possibly go wrong? Right. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. This all looks right. This is a team that's going to Wembley. Come on! Ugh. Got tongue in my beard now. Yeah, this is a one-legged affair in Coventry. We're at Butts Park. The Butts Park Arena. Come on! Wembley, Wembley. Even if we lose, we're going to Wembley. Wembley, Wembley. That's what we'll be singing. I'll love that. Shoot, shoot. Somebody shoot. Won't somebody shoot? Yes, that's what I wanted. That's exactly what we were looking for. 1-0. We did a football. Come on. Too nervous to talk. We're just going to sit here quietly appreciating what's going on in front of us. Nyos is injured. One 0 at half time. Can Ebbsfleet lose the other game though? Because Ebbsfleet are really good regardless. I really don't want to play them at Wembley. We're bringing Linton on for the second half because Nyos is broken. Oh, the nerves are starting. Oh, the nerves. Oh, it's fine. Stop paying attention. Yeah, shall I read a book? Want to see the card? It's my dad's birthday today. I got him this card. I'll just let the camera focus on it. There you go, that's the card I've got my dad for his birthday. It's good, isn't it? To be fair, the ultimate irony of the card is it's his birthday today. I'm not going anywhere near his house today. I haven't posted it. And I think that makes it even better. Logsmead, thank you very much for the sub. Oh, right. Subs. We've got so many tired little legs. Right. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Ding, 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 ding. That will make sense. That will do. So we're not going to have a right back for the next game. That's not ideal. And we're also down to 10 men for the rest of the semi-final, which is also not ideal. I guess Redfern's the obvious option for right back because he's a right winger and they're basically the same job. And then we'll put him there and do this. I think that makes the most sense. Yeah, this means Lewis Warren's going to have to play at Wembley at right back. But not in the playoffs, probably. Because we're not going to get there in the playoffs. Because now we're down to 10 men. It's all going wrong. Attack. More! Come on! Goodrum's in! Goodrum's in! Goodrum's not in. Imagine if we get ruined again, this time by an injury that puts us down to 10 men. I'm so fed up with Football Manager. I hate it. Okoronkwo, somebody do a football. I hate the playoffs so much. I can't emphasize enough how much I hate the playoffs. Someone do a football. Won't somebody do a football? Please, anybody. A football needs to be done. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. No, that's just poor. We've got 5 minutes left. Someone do something. Anything. Anything good. Let me clarify. Only interested in good things. Right, Conte. We were just praising him a minute ago. What a pass. Okoronkwo! A linesman, put your flag down, you turd! Put your flag down! The linesman's a turd. I spat everywhere and the linesman's a turd. And now we're going to concede. Oh! Oh, I've spat all over my microphone. Gilks is injured as well now. We've got no fullbacks left. I'm just watching this horror show unfold before me. We're going to have to play with 10 men in extra time. Unless Goodrum scores here. Square it! Penalty! Come on. Please. 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 So now we're both down to 10 men. It's Chang. Oh, that boy hits a penalty. I've never known anyone be so efficient from the penalty spot. Cue him missing a penalty in the shootout in the final. Wembley, twice over. With no fullbacks. Oh, my word. Ebbsfleet are there too. Right, Nos is missing both trips to Wembley. Gilks should be back for both. Linton is also missing both trips. Do we have any other right back, or is Warren actually going to play right back in the final? Oh, God. Cairns is injured as well. We've got 5 injuries and they're all to fullbacks. I mean... what am I supposed to do? Right, we've got a week before the Ebbsfleet game, so Gilks will be back. Nos won't. Cairns won't. Kiezu won't. Linton won't. So as it stands right now, Warren might be playing right back at Wembley twice. Oh, God. Oh, God. Imagine if he ends up being the hero. When do the new boys come in? Can we play them? Can either of you? You can play right back. When do you sign? The 6th. Oh, the day after when... Right, they'll both be in for the Fat Cup final. But will they sign the day after the playoff final? Oh, God, we've got no training. Do we need training? Training feels like it's for cowards, really. Full week of rest. That seems like a bad idea. We'll do big match preparation. That feels sensible. There you go. Some big match preparation. Training and don't get injured, yeah. Oh, I'm not happy. Yeah, I guarantee Theodros gets injured in training now. And I can blame whoever it was who said do the training. Oh. Come on, boys. I am happier than I would be if we'd lost. But we are pretty used to the playoff final now. It doesn't say whether... Does it not have a record of playoffs anywhere? Because I feel like we've got to the final at least a couple of times now. Does it have like a past... Oh, here you go. Current season. So we weren't in the final last year. We were in the final the year before. And we were in the final 5 years ago now. So this is our third time in the National League playoff final. God, it's horrible. It's really horrible. I've won Manager of the Month. That's the worst timing in the world. Gilks needs a week of rest. Well, I'm sorry, Amani. You ain't having a week of rest. You can have 2 days off training. Because you did get injured, but we do need you back for practicing penalties on Friday. Oh. Right, Okoronkwo. I'm not going to downgrade him to a fringe player just before Wembley. That seems like a terrible idea. Oh. Right. Come on. Ooh. Can we bring these two back? Oh no, these are already here. No, we can't. Oh God, is he going to leave before Wembley? Oh God, they're gone before the Fat Cup final. That's insane. That's not the end of the season. Fat Cup doesn't matter. It matters to me. If we're getting promoted, it's our last chance to win it. Yeah, we'll have to play the new kids. They're making their debuts at Wembley. Oh. I feel sick. The media consider us favourites. Team meeting. This can't go wrong. Come on! Let's all have a meeting. Let's all have a meeting. Da, 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 da. Don't get distracted by the hype around the final. Just go out there and treat it like any other match. You should be used to it by now. It's Wembley. Look, they're thrilled. I've just thrilled Louis Warren. That's what I'm here for. It's why I stream. Moments like that. Right. Here we go. 2 games at Wembley, 2 victories, and they're going to put a statue of me outside Butts Park. Let's all have a moment of quiet. Can we have a traffic report? Yes. I'll be in no fit state to do it afterwards. There's one car outside. It's my car. Because I parked outside the house last night rather than on the driveway. So my car's out there blocking the whole street. Oh. Right. So Smithy at right back. I feel like he's not played there very much. He's got to be better at it than Warren. Right, Muller, get him up onto the bench. Who needs a goalkeeper at Wembley? Because it's very unlikely we'll get an injury to our goalkeeper at Wembley in this playoff final. I would say it's guaranteed not to happen. Dealt with that. You want Warren on the bench? Warren is on the bench. He's already on the bench. So, mods, do we have a vote for when we think the goalkeeper injury is going to happen? During the warm-up? Look, we've packed out Wembley. It's fine. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. It's Wembley. 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 Has it slowed down? I felt like it was really slow. Perhaps they're just really slow. Oh, it's a big pitch. There's Gilks. Look, he's fit. Gilks is fit. What a moment. Smith has no idea what he's doing out there, but what a cross. Smith's the... That's offside. Smith's not the best right back in the world. But that was interesting. Just a low drilled cross. Okoronkwo was alert. Oh, look at that. That's not offside. The guy there on the left back's playing him on. The linesman was 3 yards away from him. Oh, Gilks has hit the crossbar. Oh. I mean, that felt more offside than ours was. Because he's on the line when he heads that. But these pillocks haven't stepped up. Come on, boys! Remember, we played Lebsfleet in the league at the start of the stream, and we were 1-0 down for the entire match until we scored 2 goals after the 90th minute to win. We have previous for this. We're going to demand more. Come on. Gilks is now broken, as you would expect. Warren's going to play left back. That's even better than right back. Oh. Right, equaliser on the stroke of half time, please. Sherwood to Goodrum. Okoronkwo trying to play Theodrison. Goodrum's through. Goodrum's an idiot. We've been the better team. We've been the better team. We've been robbed a goal. We've been the better team. We've really got to keep an eye on Gilks. He's not making it through the entire match, but the alternative is Lewis Warren, Big Lou Warren, the LW. So Gilks stays on until he can't walk anymore. We're going attacking. It's Wembley. It's the playoff final. Football League is at stake. We need a goal. Why have they got another corner? What's this all about? Why do they get all the corners? Somebody clear it. Somebody has cleared it. And it's Goodrum again. I take back everything bad I've ever said about him if he scores here. He's a wally. He is a wally. Come on, boys. Do you not want this as much as I want it? Do you not want to be Football League players? I feel like we deserve to be in the Football League. Cutting the Wi-Fi is no help, Pumpster. It doesn't stop the match from happening. It just means I have to go through it alone. More! Corner. Why are we doing the pervert corner at a time like this? He's offside, surely. Now's not the time for being a pervert. Oh, how many times have we hit the woodwork? Ugh. Booster is 6-3. I don't want to change the tactic because we know from the league match that we got back into the game. Smith and Gilks are both shattered. But everyone else is fine. I'm tempted to leave it as it is for another 10 minutes. We're the better team. We're playing well. I think the goal is coming, and Sherwood might be the man to score. I don't know why he played it back there, but Gilks is in. Gilks, fall over. Crossing's fine. Ugh. Right. Can't believe it's come to this. Okay. Just try shuffling them around a bit. I'm not fiddling with the tactic in any way. Fiddling with the tactic is counterproductive. We trust what got us here. And we hope the personnel changes are enough. No, we don't go very attacking. Very attacking kills the highlights. We stick with this. This is what's going to either win or lose us the game. I mean, it is heartbreaking. I mean, we had to do that with no fullbacks. Are they going to sack me before the Fat Cup final? Ah, God. Maybe we'll go up as champions. At least the Barbados manager was there looking at an injured Gilks. Right, maybe we just need to learn to win at Wembley. The Fat Cup final does take on that little bit of importance. We need to learn to win at Wembley. So for goodness sake, let's go and win at Wembley. Give us something to cheer at the end of this season. If we're allowed to get that far. I can't believe that's just happened again. That's 13 in a row. What have I done to the universe? I'm being punished for the Streamer Showdown. Did it help the finances? Let's have a look, shall we? Right, the new boys are in. They're as good as I hope they are. Hopefully. I mean, they're both gonna have to play. If it allows me to play them. And what we need now is a gazillionaire to come in and take over and give me some money to spend. Because the other thing to never forget is that we're operating on a much smaller budget than everyone else. I know it's the usual excuse, but we are operating on a much smaller budget than everyone else in this league. Just as the reminder. 13th for budget. But it is creeping up all the time. These both problem teams are now promoted. Yeah, I mean, if we look back over the previous years, everyone who's been in and around us has gone now, I think. So, I mean, it's 5 years we've been banging on this door. So if we go back to there, Chesterfield and Torquay have gone up and hopefully not coming back down. Yeah, they're not coming back down. But that you can see you've got Port Vale in there, Ebbsfleet. I mean, look how far back they've come from. The next year we did fall off a little bit. Eastleigh and Crawley went up, but it's the same old teams at the top again. And then Fylde go up, Stevenage go up. It's still Port Vale, Notts County, Ebbsfleet. They're all in there. And then last year, Notts County go up, Scunthorpe go up, Ebbsfleet, Port Vale, Yeovil. They're all in there still. And then those two have gone up. But these are all teams that haven't really been there so much. We're the best team left in this league. But who's coming down? Doncaster and Sutton. See, they're two teams who, I mean, they're probably not as good as, oh, mind you, they've come down from League One. Doncaster are going to be a problem. Unless they're in full-on freefall. Sutton, we've just been scraping around. Sutton are no issue. Sutton will finish bottom half next year. But Doncaster might be an issue. Oh. We've just got to have a good summer. Grimsby will dominate next season. Why Grimsby? Gotta get a new contract first. They'll give me a new contract. Oh, because you're a Grimsby fan. Okay. If we have the right summer, it might all just come together beautifully. It'll be fine. Took Ben 7 years to get out of the National League in FM21. Wowzers. What's the plan next season? Do it again. Do what we've been doing. And try and get promoted. It's an easy plan. We're just going to keep doing it. I strongly disagree that the save's getting stale. I think this is the most exciting save I've done in years. The ones where I win all the time are the stale ones. I think this is interesting. The moment you get promoted will be insane. Exactly. The finances are going to be a problem. I mean, if I can put an early prediction out for the upcoming season, we're 10 points clear at the top of the league by March, and then we go into administration and get a 12-point deduction. Oh... Right, we are going to add the positive spin. We're going to win the Fat Cup. We're going to go and win a game at Wembley just to try and learn what that's like. I can't believe what's happening. Oh, I cannot believe what's happening. I mean, what are the chances of all the fullbacks being injured? It just seems so sensationally unreasonable. Right, we're going to beat Eastleigh. Oh, I'm so sad. Apparently, this is our second FA Trophy final. Have we got to the FA Trophy final before as well? Oh, God, we've lost this as well before. Oh, my word. We've lost so many games at Wembley, I can't keep track of them. I hate Wembley. Ease the pressure on them. Yeah, look, they're thrilled. I bet you are. You love Wembley, don't you? You get to stay in a fancy hotel and have a Premier Inn breakfast on the day of the match. Oh, Courtney Clark. I mean, we can't afford him, and he's not as good as what we've already got. So in summary, no thank you. This is the start right here. This is where the story begins. This is the tale will be told. I was on the verge of getting sacked, on the verge of my contract not being renewed. But then we went to Wembley on that fateful day in May 2029 and we won the FA Trophy. And from there, they never lost another game forevermore. He's going to the Toulon tournament. I've just withdrawn him from it because I didn't know if he'd go before the Fat Cup final. I think, I mean, that, if I was a new signing, I'd probably get quite cross getting pulled out of that from a non-league team. Especially as I'm now not playing him because we've got players back. Linton's back, Gilks is back. All right. He's wanted already, is he? Wanted by Dulwich Hamlet on loan. Right. Come on. Wembley. 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 We're so fed up of losing at Wembley. Wembley. Wembley.
Very good game. Very good.
What, Football Manager? It's a horrible game.
No.
Anna has been playing Dying Light 2, which is out today. And she is enjoying it, it seems. Excellent. Yeah, jolly good. We just lost the playoffs for the 13th time in a row.
Not very good. I need to tell you that from now on, we cannot have a team that does not have Amber.
Okay, that's fine. Can I concentrate on my Fat Cup final now? We're at Wembley. We're not losing yet, but we will be. I'm very sad. The chat would like to know how many stars out of 10 for Dying Light 2. 8. Okay, Dave's tangling me up. Get Dave out.
I've only just done the first night. But there is an easy.
Oh, I might play it then. If it's got an easy mode, I'll have an easy mode. Come on, let's do a football.
More!
We scored at Wembley!
Ooh.
No, they're staying up here.
Who's Ellie?
That's us.
What?
The mighty Leamington.
Leamington?
Yeah. The town is called Leamington Spa. They probably do have a spa as well. It's not the spa you're thinking of. It's not the corner shop. That was an excellent attempt to finish, but it didn't go in. Oh, Come on. Oh!
Oh.
Oh, it's Royal Leamington Spa, apparently. Get that dog away from my wires. He's putting my headphones off. He has to stand where you are, or you have to get him out of the room. You can't stand in his spot. We've scored again. Has that one been disallowed? That one's been disallowed. Oh. Ada is the key. Yeah, but I can't sit here like that, having my headphones pulled off by Dave. Right, come on, let's football our faces off. What? Don't know what she's saying. I'm sure it's insightful, though. Why are half the goals in the game offsides? I mean, it's not half. It's probably roughly equivalent. I mean, I say roughly. It will be exactly equivalent to how many in real life are ruled out for offside. That's how they decide how many to be offside. Don't wear headphones. FM's soundless at the end of the day. Yeah, but then I won't know when people are subbing. Come on! We're 2-0 up at Wembley! Why do I even play Goodrum? Because he scored the first goal and he's the best player at the club. Oh. Whoa. Look at this. Look at it. We're dominatorizing. Have the sub sounds come out the PC speakers? I don't have any PC speakers. I have no reason to own PC speakers. I have headphones. Oh, the stress. The stress and pressure. Plus, if I did have speakers and stuff came out of them, it would echo back through the microphone and sound horrible. Horrible. Right, Jeff Kane is injured, which means new boy Nemeka can come on. Who, remember, was one of the best players all the way through this area of the team when we had him in on trial. Imagine making your debut at Wembley. I think this is his professional football debut, not just his debut for us. Yeah. His first ever game of professional football is at Wembley. There can't be many people that applies to. Well, boys and girls, I think we've just won a game at Wembley. There's still 2 minutes left. Maybe we haven't. Be nice if we do. Oh my word. This is it. This is where everything changes. We've learnt to win at Wembley. We're not afraid of this place anymore. We have won the Fat Cup. I wonder who the cartwheel is going to be. Dave, get out from under my legs. Shift. Skedaddle. Oh, the fireworks. Look at it. Look at it. Who's going to do the cartwheel? Who's going to... It's not going to be the goalkeeper. Who is it? Number 18. Who's number 18? God, I look fat compared to the players. Goodness me. Number 18 is Nyos, does the cartwheel. Lovely stuff. Well, easy work. Surely the board have got to give me a new contract now. I gave them everything they ever dreamed of. We might not be in the Football League, but we have a trophy in the cabinet. We've had to go out and buy a cabinet. We've swung by IKEA on the way home. Iconic Chapman builds Leamington legacy. Oi, Gareth, do you want to sack me now? Iconic Chapman. I firmly cemented my status as an iconic figure at Leamington. Leamington icon Kevin Chapman. Sack me if you dare. The supporters love me. The board are happy. Even Goodrum scored a goal. Now give me that contract. Come on. I'm pointing at it with my finger. They're going to give me a new contract. Everything's all right in the world. We didn't need promotion. I'm getting a new contract. Iconic Chapman. Gareth, you wise man. I went up to him on the bus on the way home while we were parked at IKEA, and Okaronkwo and Goodrum were carrying the cabinet out and putting it in the little parcel shelf underneath the coach. I went up to Gareth and said, Gareth, I'm not letting you off this bus until you agree to give me a new contract. And he agreed. And then we had meatballs together. Right. There's this. Andy Smith was a good side. 7.52. What a man. Gilks was great coming back in as well. I think we've got a very good team here. We've got 93 points, for goodness sake. There's no justice in that not being enough for promotion. We're going up this year. We're going up as champions. There's your team of the year. What a team it is too. We're going up as bleeping champions. Gilks. I love the fact that Gilks can still win Young Player of the Year, despite the fact he's signed, been sold, been loaned back, been released, and returned on a free. This is his 4th spell at Leamington. He's only 22 years old and still winning Young Player of the Year. It's brilliant. Wooster sets a new clean sheet record in the Fat Cup. What a man. We've got players inducted into the all-time best 11. There's Frenchie, look. Frenchie's at Bristol bleeping City. What the hell? What the hell is going on? He played 4 games in the Championship. Come on, Frenchie. You're making me look bad. Colvin's probably playing for Arsenal. No, there you go. He's retired. Roberts, is he playing for West Brom now? Or can we get him in? Is his contract up with West Brom? Right. Stay on high alert for Roberts, who is out of contract with West Brom this summer. If we could have him and Godwin as our centre-back partnership, it'd be like the good old days when we had a good defence again. Dixon Bonner's at Morecambe, playing in League 2. Probably shouldn't have released him. Livermore has retired after heading to Rochdale. Paris Magoma still at Cambridge, but out of contract. We're going to get the band back together this summer. If we get Roberts and Magoma back. Okaronkwo, Thomas, who's also retired. Okoflex, who's now playing for Notts County in League 2. Scum. And then, of course, Goodrum up front, who's been here forever now. Crewe and Sunderland want him. I mean, I say forever. It's only been 3 years. It feels like forever. Right. Where's this new contract then? Club Vision. They only want the playoffs this time around. Oh, it's all coming right again. Oh, we get a year where we only have to do the playoffs. They want this story to be finished correctly, and then the following year we have to go up automatically. Lovely stuff. Yes, we'll accept that. Goodrum's now. I think that's the first team leader we've ever had at Leamington, and it's Goodrum. We are going to get in the playoffs again, lads. You love the playoffs, don't you? You love that day out at Wembley. Think of the Premier in breakfast. They do extra black pudding because they know we're coming. Right, where's this contract? I want a contract and I want a budget. I feel a little bit alarmed we've not got either. Oh, here we go. They both arrive at once. £1,000 a week. Is that what I'm on at the moment? Gareth, what am I on currently? I'm such a wealthy man. I don't actually know what my current salary is. If you tried to give me a pay cut, we were having words. It's just, I guess, in the circumstances, the same salary is probably okay. Yes, we'll start negotiations. I will try and ask for a little bit more money. Come on, Gareth. You know it makes sense. Gareth? Well, how about a promotion pay rise? Is that not even a thing? I guess because I've only on a 1-year contract. Contract extension after promotion. I think that's a reasonable thing to ask for. There we go. Automatic contract extension. I mean, that's probably not a great thing, so I won't be on a pay rise. I would have been in such a strong position to negotiate if I got promoted, and now I've ballsed that up completely there. All because I'm desperate to pay this stupid mortgage that I've got to pay. Right, scouting budget. We'll just stick it on world. No, National League for now is probably fine. And then budget-wise, we want 22 grand a week of wage budget. That'd be perfect. Oh, blimey, look what difference the Fat Cup in the playoffs did. We were £500,000 in debt. Wow. £600,000 of gate receipts this month, 60 grand of prize money, 10 grand TV revenue. I'm not surprised they've given me more budget. I mean, we are currently spending exactly that amount of budget. But we're only committed to 21. Well, this changes everything. Release the squad. We start again from here. That's never gone wrong, has it? Well. Beautiful stuff. I've got a new contract. We've got new budgets. We're going to get 8 new players. What a time to be alive. This guy's retired. Don't know who he is. Don't care. Apparently he was head physio. I mean, he doesn't know how to keep fullbacks fit, clearly. This guy's got his Continental Pro license. I'm delighted for him. Everything is great. I love Football Manager. Yeah! Who the hell is this guy? He's quite good. Okay, we'll sign him. Good work, Tom. I mean, he's quite good, isn't he? I don't know what we're offering him. I'm just going to leave. Rather than getting involved, I'm just going to leave the director of football to it this time. Because when I get involved, yeah, I was going to say, don't touch anything. When I get involved in those, I mess them up. So I'm just going to let that guy come in. And then when he gets here and he's on 3 grand a week, it will be your fault for telling me to leave it alone. Right, do we want Luke Noble for another season? I don't think we do. He's not very good. He did play all season, but I do think we can do better. Godwin will be starting. Godwin and Smith. And then if we can get Roberts as well. Unless we can get Noble on a free, he'd be a useful squad player to have around. That's the wrong button. £350 a week is cheap. Actually, you know what? We will keep him here as a backup. Oh, I've got to negotiate with Gore, have I? Okay. Oh, there's loads. We're not getting him. There's loads of clubs in for him. We're not playing him as an Enganch. What does he think this is? Do I look Spanish to you, Daniel? I think it's unlikely we get this player, but We'll put the offer in anyway. He might want to be part of a project. Scout him in the meantime. What gore? Probably a good idea. He's 33% scouted at the moment. All we know about him is he can use either foot. I can use either foot. Prioritize the scout report. It's like you lot have played this game before. Where is he? It's that guy, isn't it? What was the thing you do to make him top priority? Click on him and then press that. That was a trick you lot taught me. Love that little trick. Lincoln McFadden. Hasn't he played for us before? Do the same with Roberts. I don't feel like I need to scout Roberts. We're just going to bring Roberts in regardless. If we can get Roberts in, then brilliant. Roberts can have £2,000 a week if he wants. He's that good. I certainly don't feel the need to scout him because he's such a difference maker. There he is. I think the chances of us getting it, yeah, he's already signed an extension with him. I'm going to say the chances of us getting him are always pretty slim. And they still won't loan him back to us. But that's why he never would have needed scouting. At least we've got Godwin to play centre back. He's the new Roberts. So I'm thinking Smith and Godwin's our centre back partnership. Gilks at left back. A new right back maybe. Wooster can stay and go. Wooster's actually starting to fulfill some potential now. Yeah, I'm brilliant at Football Manager. I'm really good at it. You haven't heard me. I've been singing and shouting and screaming. I just did a giddy dance for about a minute. You need to get yourself some ears. It's because you got the sound bar on playing your game. That's why you can't hear me. What? What?
Hello?
What pillow? What red one? Oh, that? Oh, there he is. French is the answer. Nah, Wooster's the goalkeeper for us. She's gone. I can't ask her. It's just a Philips soundbar. Nothing special. We don't want this guy because he's not got potential or current ability. So that one can be cancelled. The playoffs have happened, and I am happy to say we've finally won at Wembley. It's all the information you need. The two events are not connected. I don't think that's an important piece of information to share. Right. I might offer Cairns his new contract now because he is 5-star potential. And we have got money to burn now, so let's offer him £5,000 a week. Oh. Kev. You what? What class is he? 22nd and 23rd. When's that? Oh, it's after half term. That's ages. Yeah, that's ages away. Give me the dates later. And he's got a couple more days off school because of COVID. but not until the 22nd of February. Kevin Cairns wanted loads of money before. Now he doesn't. So he can have that. That's fine. Redfern, I think we're probably done with. I think we can let him go. Linton is a trickier proposition. He doesn't really have the potential. I think we let both of those two go. But Cairns we keep. Where? Yeah, 22nd and 23rd of February.
Oh, yeah, not in March.
Oh, okay. How can they know now that they're going to need to have stage closures in March for COVID? Yeah, now. It's
Yeah,
early February. They don't know what the situation's going to be like at the end of March. That's mad. Right, we didn't get Gore. Do we want a winger?
So
No.
apparently they only have 50 staff.
I see. Double network game next week. I think it's probably unlikely it will happen. It might happen, but it really depends on the desk situation. I won't be doing it on Tuesday because Posh are playing. If the desk comes on Monday, then maybe we could do Wednesday and Thursday next week. We'll have to see. Right, I don't want him. My director of football's really going for it though at the moment. So it all depends on when the new desk comes. Right. Linton. I'm being really pushed for Linton. Just have a little look at him again. How cheap can he be? If we can push his salary down to nearer 500, then I don't mind him as a backup at fullback. There you go. That's a pay cut. I don't mind a pay cut. Noah Brogdon has still got lots of potential, but again, he needs a lower salary than 550. We've got to push these boys down a little bit. Come on. Pay cuts all round. Redfern we're releasing. Reese McConnell I think we're releasing. Jim Hall we're definitely releasing. And there we go. That's that dealt with. So, who's this guy? Unable to offer new contract for Miguel. Who the hell is Miguel? Who are you, Mauro Miguel? I don't want to offer you a new contract. Get out of town. So, we've now got about $4,000 a week to play with on the wage budget, which could be 2 or 3 players. We're obviously just going to wait until the 1st of July for those 2 or 3 players. So it will likely be Monday's stream that we're looking at them. But if we can get as close to the 1st of July as possible now, that would be super duper. Posh play Wednesday next week, do we? I've written down Tuesday. It must have been moved for TV or something. Well, then there's a possibility we could do Tuesday. If the desk comes Monday and Posh are playing Wednesday, then we could potentially do another network game on Tuesday. We'll have to see. It all depends on the desk situation. My office could be disassembled at that point. Yes, I still follow non-league to legend rules on this stream. The only exception being I don't accept new jobs. What the hell? Dave, what are you doing? Just lost his mind. What? Oh, I see. Dave's just had a poo, which is why he's now running around like a maniac. Right, we don't want this guy. Teamsters don't like your dog. I like him plenty. I just don't like him wrecking my stuff. Phantom tail wagging behind me, I know. Because he stood right in front of the light. He's such a monster. It could be my tail. There's no way of knowing whose tail it is. All you need to know is there is a tail wagging behind me. I don't really know why you need to know more than that. There's a reason I'm struggling to sit down at the moment. I had some surgery. England won the Nations League. Everything is right in the world. Right. Actually, these contract renewals have added to the committed spending, which I assumed once we made the offers that would count towards committed spending, but perhaps not. How big is this squad at the moment? So it's currently a 20-man squad, and 2 of them are leaving. So an 18-man squad is what we're going into next season with. Although we have got the other new guy who can come up into the first team squad. So that makes it a 19-man squad again. So then if we can bring in 3 players, we're sorted. Don't want him. Conte's off to play for Sierra Leone. We'll do youth players next stream. There's a few in Discord, I think. So rather than trying to squeeze them in now, we'll do them on the next stream. Get them sorted. 13 times lucky. No. Well, we can't get Roberts. Roberts is renewed at West Brom. If we can get Magoma back, that would be awesome. In fact, can we offer Magoma a contract now? Has the transfer window opened? Magoma. Who else wants him? He needs to be cheap. Oh, he's only considered a 2.5-star player now. On that basis, we're not going to bring him back. Isaac Smith's a 23-year-old, 6'3" centre-back with potential, but not as good as Green. Been playing in the National League North. Yeah, at that age, he needs to be better than that. No, thank you. We've got to be really tight about who we're bringing in. We haven't got room for lots of players in the squad. I think we can only do 3 or 4 signings without people leaving. What are the board expectations? Playoffs. They've actually lowered their expectations for the coming season. I think they just enjoy watching me suffer, so they want the playoffs again. Utterly unreasonable. They have given me a new contract now, so I'm not getting sacked. We won the Fat Cup and they loved it. Next stream won't even have the word sacked in the title. I'm a club icon, not a club legend currently. I think promotion to the Football League will secure me legendary status. Right, Nyos. I would happily keep if he's cheap. I think that works for me. When do we continue the save? The next stream will be Monday afternoon, as long as my new desk doesn't arrive on Monday. It might be Tuesday. It'll be basically keep an eye on Twitter. Make sure you're following over here with your notifications on. Assuming that's a thing on Twitch. And you'll get a notification when I go live. It should be Monday. Oh, what have we got here? Brandon Brian War. How has he got a real face when he's 24 and we're in 2029? He must be like 9 years old at the start of the save. He's 6'4". I've heard you can't teach that. Yeah, we'll take him, Tom. We'll absolutely take him. Nios is in. Our defense is getting a big upgrade here. He's 16 at the start. Wowzers. Right, so these are the contracts that expire next summer. If we can get Gilks to continue the theme of pay cuts, that'd be nice. So he's on 700 at the moment. Yeah, pay cuts is what we're doing. Not pay rises. Yeah, we're not doing pay rises currently. Thank you. Yeah, we'll wait and see on all of these. We will attend the meeting. Get a few more players scouted or trialed. We'll take him on trial. So they reckon we need a striker, which is interesting. Because we've just finally got to the point where our attackers are scoring goals consistently. But you know I always want a striker. Love strikers. Is Pedro Luis available in this world yet? Do you reckon we can get him before his big move to Norwich? That'd be nice. Or Tammy Abraham, we'll take him. All right. Not reading any of those, just re-scouting the ones who are at clubs, offering trials to the ones who are available for trial. Oh, we've already made him an offer. Are we the only ones who've offered to him? Yes. Splendid. Take these extra trialists in and have a little look at them. All right. Oh, hello. Tom Beard. Holy smokes. Tom, welcome to Leamington. Come on, 750 is fine. Hopefully no one else is in for him. I don't understand. I mean, I haven't looked at any other attribute. I just saw acceleration 17 to 20. That's enough information for a non-league striker. That's pretty much all I need to know about him. He would be the best striker at the club as well on star rating. He'd be a sensational signing. I feel like the game might be throwing me a bone after all these years down in non-league. Yep, Forest Green in the Championship. You did see that right. Oh, here we go. Carlisle in League One. Yeah, I thought it was too good to be true. Right, let's bump his salary up massively. And hope we can still get him somehow. It's now looking less likely. If my scouts are correct. if they're saying it's a range of 17 to 20, he's not going to be below 17. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. I think he has to end up in that range. Come on, I want to get him in before the stream ends. We've got non-lethal legend out in 6 minutes. We are racing against the clock now, but we want that signing confirmed. If we know we're getting him and that other defender adding into the squad that we've already got, that's a title-winning side. If we can then squeeze one more midfielder in, just to add some numbers in there, we'll be the team on over 100 points this year. Come on. We want beard. We want beard. We want beard. Get the chant going. We haven't got time for saving the game. Oh, for goodness sake. He's gone to Ebbsfleet. I bet they're paying him less than we were going to as well. They're paying him exactly what we offered him. That is infuriating. Well, that feels like as good a point as any to end the stream. I think the offer is still in for that other defender. Yeah, let's just wait and see how this one resolves itself. There are other clubs in for him as well. Watch us lose out on him. And all of a sudden, this title-winning team I was just describing is back to being the third-place team again. And we have it all to do on Monday. Andy Smith won signing of the season in the National League. Beautiful. FM threw me the bone and immediately took it back. I know. It does that. It's a cruel game at times. Right, so we are aiming at the playoff. This is good. We're going to finish top 7. There's no way we don't finish top 7. So the fear of being sacked is gone for this coming season. So now we just need to do a football. Pre-season team meeting. Let's tell them we're going to get the playoffs. They're happy. Did I just tell them we're going to win the FA Cup? Probably shouldn't have done that, but I think we've turned it around. I know roughly where the right buttons to click are, even without reading any of it. We've got one more minute before I have to end the stream for non-lethal legend. I just want to see if we get this defender. Are we going to get him? Or is he going to go somewhere else? Yes, we'll do all the friendlies you want. Yeah, we love a friendly round here. Come on, just keep hitting continue. Are we getting the defender? He's not gone anywhere yet, has he? No. Come on. This would be a lovely way to end the stream, confirming his signing. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Let's see if he's as good as we hope he is. Come on, let's have one quick look at him before the stream ends. Be a 4-star player. Be a 4-star player. Be a 4-star player. I mean, it'll do. It'll do. He's 6'4", and he's better than what we've got, apart from Smith. He'll partner Smith nicely. That'll do nicely. And we still have a little bit of money to spend as well. And that's going to be the job for Monday. Remember, Monday's stream is like 50-50 at the moment, depending on when the desk comes. But keep an eye on Twitter. You'll be up to date on there. But I must now let you go and have a wee before non-lethal legend. You've been with me for hours. You must be bursting for the toilet. Go and have a wee. I'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching, folks. Toodle pip. Bye-bye.